Is there a story that sticks out in your mind about the plant?
Well, I guess it could be maybe to give people that may not be aware of the size of it. Back in the beginning, one of the things with a new hire that they gave you was a coupon for a free lunch at the cafeteria, and I think it was a way to probably introduce you to, come up here and buy lunch versus bringing your lunch. And so I probably waited, I'm going to say at least, and this was probably the first year when I was a summer student there, I kind of, due to the size, I waited probably 2 weeks before I thought I'm going to venture out to try and find the cafeteria in my lunch hour, and he had a half hour for lunch. And so I took off in the direction I thought I was headed, and after walking for, across conveyors and around columns and through walls and that kind of stuff, at about, I'm going to say 17-minute mark, I see a guy. I said, so how close am I to getting to the cafeteria? He said, you're at the opposite wrong direction. And so I said, well, point me back. Here's where I need to, this is the job I'm doing. Point me back in the shortest way so that I can get back at least by the end of lunch hour. And so I kind of chuckle at that.
2 days later.
Yeah. No, I made it back in plenty of time, and I'm not any worse the wear for missing that one lunch. But I waited till I had a little bit more experience and asked a few more questions before I ventured out. But that's probably one of the first stories I remember that I kind of chuckle about.
Cool. So now that the plant is closed, you are the executive director at Rotary Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a change, or is it?
Well, on the surface it sounds like quite a change, but again, it's managing people and working with groups of people. And I was fortunate enough that with my age and the number of years, I had the opportunity to retire from GM, but I thought, I'm still young enough. I've still got some years that I want to work. I've got some things that I want to do, and quite honestly, it came up rather quick. I'm going to say, yeah, we knew 9 months or thereabouts that things were going to close, and the option was I could transfer somewhere. I chose that I like this community, chose not to, so I decided that I would retire, and I kind of put the word out on the street that I'd be interested in managing a group of people again in the right situation. And I got a call from the folks at Rotary Gardens, and one of the guys that had known me from my GM days, and I said to him, horticultural is not my background. And he said, we know that. We've got Mark Dwyer, who's the horticulturalist down there, and Mark does a wonderful job with the gardens. We need somebody to be the executive director with a good business background and good people skills and that kind of stuff, which I felt kind of proud.
You spent 32 years honing those
skills.
skills.
Felt pretty proud that they at least maybe acknowledged that. And so I said, well, let's sit down and talk about what the job entails. And we were able to work on an agreement, and I've been there. It'll be a year in March. So about 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, somewhere in there.
So have you planted anything in that year?
No, I really haven't. I kind of stay out of Mark's business. Probably the closest I get is when we have a guest, and I know what a daylily is, and I know what a tulip is, but he plants an awful lot of other stuff that I don't know what it is, and so I get my two-way radio if we have a guest and they're out in the cottage garden next to the bird feeder, and I'll radio Mark and I'll say, Mark, there's this purple flower out here right next to the bird feeder. What is it? And most of them have got tags, but occasionally there's one that isn't, and he'll radio back and he'll give them the common name and the scientific name, and I said, man, you are good. And he says, well, you don't know whether I'm telling you the right or not. And I said, Mark, I know you're that good. You're telling the customer the right answer because they're looking to go out and buy that thing, and they respect that you know what it is. So, yeah, I do enjoy taking a walk. It's quite different when I take a break in midday, especially in the summertime, just to take a nice 10-minute walk through the gardens, because it's seasonally it changes so much. It's a whole lot different than maybe
strolling through the plant.
Yeah, strolling from one department to another. But
cool. Dave, thank you so much. Best
You're
of luck
welcome.
to you.
Thank you.